Hey guys, I am going to be dyeing my hair. It's been a minute since I've been online, and it's also been a minute since I've colored my hair last. There are definitely reasons for that. I've just had a lot going on in my personal life, and also I've been very sick. It's October, it's actually like the day before Halloween, and I figured, why not do my hair? Why not do something to make me feel a little bit less crummy? I have been feeling sick pretty much since the last time I posted, which I think was in like June or July. It's now October, but recently I've been doing a little bit better. I've been able to do things in bursts, and I figured, why not? I don't know if you can see my shirt. Yes, it was my mommy's shirt, so I'm going to change it so I don't get hair dye all over it. And I'm going to change it to this. It says "So What," and it's already very colorful, so I figured if I get hair dye on it, it won't really matter. Especially because I'm going to be doing this color, which is Arctic Fox Virgin Pink. I don't know how to get that to focus, but I'm sure you can still read it. I can't really get it to focus, but just trust me. And I also have a matching little dye bowl and dye brush. I've done this color before. I'll pop a picture up of what it looked like when I had it freshly done. And I really liked it. And I did that only a few times prior to the leftover color that I have on my hair now. My hair is looking a little bit bad, and that's mostly because I've been treating it poorly. Again, because I haven't really been feeling my best. And also, I just haven't touched up my color in like over a month, so I'm having a lot of patchiness going on. The areas of my hair that the color is just really stuck. The last time I colored my hair, I actually used Brad Mondo's line, and I love his hair dye because it always makes my hair feel better. But I also really like Arctic Fox too. So this is the shade that I really want. It's more what I want to go for. I don't really want something so deep magenta as much as I want something like this kind of like purpley pink, still vibrant, but not quite as loud this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay guys, I changed my shirt, and now I'm just finishing applying Vaseline. I thought I hit record and apparently I didn't. But yeah, I just like to use a little bit of Vaseline around my hairline and around my areas of my skin that I think the hair dye might touch, or usually touches, which for me is like right here on my neck and my collarbone area. I also have very sensitive skin, so I definitely recommend using Vaseline generously if you have very sensitive skin. You might also notice my hair is a little bit oily looking at my roots. That is because I did put hair oil in, just because my hair was looking a little bit rough and I felt like I needed a little bit of treatment. But normally whenever you're doing a color refresh, especially with semi-permanent dye, I wouldn't recommend using oil or having a lot of product or even conditioner on your hair because the color may not stick. The only reason I don't care is because I have the motivation and I have the time to go ahead and do my hair now, so I'm going to just do it. If you choose to do things differently than recommended, your results may vary. I do love both Arctic Fox and Brad Mondo dyes, but I think my biggest, like one of my favorite things about Brad Mondo dyes is that it comes in a tub, which makes the application very simple. I feel like you get full use of all of the product, and also I just love the consistency and thickness of his dyes. I am used to Arctic Fox being like a little bit on the thinner side, but they still have a nice consistency. It's like not too thin. As you may have noticed, I'm not redoing my my regrowth because at this point I wouldn't even call that regrowth. That's like months and months and months of not touching up my roots. Because usually I get to a point where I'm like, oh, you know, I think it looks alright. It's alright. I still have the pop of color that I want, but I think it honestly just depends on what color I've done. And I can pop up a timeline of the various colors that I've had on my head because I've had a lot. Initially I had red, or in some variation like a back and forth between red and orange for about 5 or 6 months. And then I had green really long term for like 8 months. And all throughout that time I had different shades of green as well. And then somewhere along the line I switched back to kind of the pinky purple red realm. Not really red anymore, it's more pinky purple. And that's where I've been for a little while. And I enjoy it, so I'm gonna stick with it. But yeah, this is what color my dye is. I'm probably going to use a lot more than that, but I'm just going to start off with a little bit because it's very easy to add more. Yeah, without further ado, we can get started. I do like to use gloves. I wouldn't say that my hands are small because my hands are definitely, I feel like for a girl, don't feel very small. They feel kind of big, but I have like really little wrists, so I like a tighter fitting glove. I don't like gloves like sliding around, especially when I'm doing my hair. That's just a personal preference. I always wear a small if I can, or in the very least, a medium. When I usually do my hair, I section it. I'm very precise. This time, I think I'm just going to give it a chance and just slap it on because you really can get away with being a lot less precise when it comes to using semi-permanent dyes. They're just a lot more forgiving. I just don't feel like, I'm just being honest when I say I don't really feel like doing extra right now. Honestly, when my hair looks like this, I feel so grungy. Applying semi-permanent color is actually pretty easy. You just comb that shit through. I like to really saturate, so I go over it a bunch and I really rub it into the hair. And then ideally I put a little bit more on top of that, just in case I've rubbed off any hair color on the areas that I really want to cover. I don't know why I did that. My hair is extremely straight, but my hair knots very easily. You might notice that I've combed through before I started applying the dye each time, and that's just because my hair does knot so easily, even though it's so straight. It's just always been a thing for me. My hair is always knotted extremely easily, especially when it gets a little too long. This length is a little bit shorter for me lately, but it feels like it does better for me, honestly. If you notice some short bits of my hair, I promise my hair did not fry off, or break off for that matter. I trimmed some bangs recently and I feel like I'm going to go back in and touch those babies up too. Since I'm coloring my hair, I can see my hair a little bit better. The really light bits around my face, especially because some of them are so like warm and orangey, they almost like match my skin tone. Not that my skin tone's super warm and orangey, but it almost blends in. Looks like I have these little short bangs, but they're not quite that short actually. Also too, when I notice when my hair gets like this like really gross color, it's like I can tolerate it, but it also feels like it ages me. I'm only 29. See, these are really big sections that I'm grabbing. And I think the reason I'm not worried about being so sloppy is I don't have to worry about so much in between hair, like close to my root, and like missing a bunch of spots. I'm really just doing the ends. So I think I can afford to be a little bit more sloppy like I am. I wouldn't normally be this sloppy ever. Arms fell asleep. Arctic Fox does have a runniness to its dye that's kind of perfect. Like in the way that it lathers and really glides through your hair. And I was saying how much I love Brad Mondo's hair dye consistency, which is vastly different. It's more gel-like and it's thick, but I personally love that. There are a lot of mixed reviews on that. Some people love it, some people don't, but I love it. I find it to be a lot less messy, a lot easier to handle, a lot more conditioning as well, while still being very pigmented. I don't see how people don't freak out when they get dye all over their skin. I don't see how that happens, to be honest. To get it like everywhere. Like when you first start, it is hard. And I'm definitely not the cleanest with this, but I think I just have too much anxiety to just let it get everywhere. So that's why I try to take precautions. Like I usually put a trash bag across my countertops because my counters are white. And my floors are too. And then, like I said, tighter fitting gloves really do help. They really go a long way. And Vaseline helps prevent staining, but I also feel like using dyes like Mondo and Arctic Fox really help too. I don't find them to be nearly as staining. However, some people I think do just have extremely porous skin, which if you do and you know it, definitely use Vaseline. Definitely put some kind of skin barrier there. Take extra precautions because you don't need to be dyeing your skin. To go along with that, I don't understand why people don't wear gloves. Like, it's so easy just to go pick up some gloves. I'm not judging, but I am. I feel like your hands and your feet would be like the worst places to get hair dye. I feel like they would just suck all that color up. Alright guys, I'm going to put a shower cap on and clean up around my hairline and my faceline. I'm going to take my gloves off though so I can go get my shower cap because I think it's in my other bathroom. Okay, I couldn't find a shower cap, but I have a plastic bag so I'm going to do that instead. I'm going to go ahead and take out my earrings too because I got a little dye on one of them, I think. So I can get that off. These are the Burt's Bees, my cellar water ones, and they're really great. Like if you have eczema, if you have really sensitive skin, or you find that some makeup wipes really burn your skin, these definitely don't do that. And they get the job done of like this when I need to remove a little excess hair dye, or just, like I said, rehydrating my skin when I really need it. Alrighty. I feel good. Alright, I guess I'll be back in a little bit. I like to leave my hair color on longer than what is recommended for, but bare minimum 20 minutes.